So specifically, your question was at the deposition, I want to go back to the comment about the bitch during this conversation you had with Mac Minister on December 5th, right? So you agree that this transcript is correct, and the video, as we played in court last time, that you're not disputing the authenticity of that, correct?
I am not. I clearly said it. People misspeak all the time, Mr. DeMarco.
Okay. And then at trial, in Mr. Dow's case, you then asked Mr. Mouton again, your question was, quote, and you had indicated that sometime prior to that December 5th footbridge meeting, you had seen that victim and Mr. Dow together before, correct?
I believe that's on redirect after he repeatedly said he didn't know what date it was.
Okay, but Mr. DiGiacomo, prior to you questioning him, even at trial, after you said December 5th the first time, did you go back and look and say, gee, let me check to see where Mr. Mouton with all these criminal records are, that he was actually in jail and this physically is impossible? Did you check that?
No, because Mr. Mouton has never said once in his life that the conversation happened on December 5th.
But sure, respectfully, Mr. DiGiacomo, in front of the jury, you presented evidence. You would agree, the jury, they don't know the facts. You're eliciting evidence as a prosecutor, correct? So
that's kind of a compound question, but the witness had said multiple times before I said December 5th in front of the jury that it was the cold months, it was December of '05, it was around Christmas time, it was probably before Christmas time, but he didn't know the dates, you couldn't even tell us the month.
Now, all of this shit that he's saying about what Mouton never said, and that it was sometime in December. Lateef Gray was a prosecutor for internal affairs, a sworn-in, declarated officer of the court. District Attorney Lateef Gray testified that Mouton, because Lateef is the one who investigated him, because that's his job, he investigates. We know for a surety, according to Lateef Gray's testimony, that Mouton was in San Francisco from December the 13th until January the 24th. How do we know this? Because his caretaker, he's a paid informant. He has a caretaker. He has a pimp that he got to check in with. See, a snitch ain't nothing but a hoe. You understand me? That's why when you look at certain snitches and you know the nigga's a snitch, he do just what a hoe do. He look at the ground when he see pimping. You can't even say nothing. You a bitch. You they bitch. And he have to check in. He go where he tell him to go. He has an assignment. There's no telling where they planted this nigga and had him go lie and testify on somebody else in another state. This is why he trying to do everything he can to try to quash this shit right now. Mouton was not nowhere near Las Vegas from December the 13th all the way to January the 24th. So the cold winter months around Christmas, that's a lie. And if that's the case, how the fuck am I going to be anywhere in Las Vegas in December? I'm on America's Most Wanted. I'm on America's Most Wanted. How in the fuck you the only one see me? They looking for me all over the place. But you the only one see me. It's a double murder. In Las Vegas, I'm walking across the footbridge. You see me all these places, these malls, at the bar. I am the most wanted man in America. But you the only one see me. And this is the story that he told these jurors. Now here's the totality of it. Ain't no way around it, because here's the thing. Bitch, everything that you told Mouton, you said. You keep saying he didn't say it. You said it. You said that. You said the December the 5th. Make no mistake about it. That's what you said. You wanted to give a date so that the lie that you was telling was believable. Because in the jurors' mind, they like, he gave a December the 5th date, and hey, I believe him. And now you're saying Mutan never said that. No, he never said it. You said it, bitch. And everything else that you said about, oh, he's seen her, and he said that bitch in California. See, here's another thing that we cannot ignore. Mutan came to court and said, out of his mouth,
it was Fairfield homicide or whatever. It came to see me. They was talking something about Anae and kind of like painted their own story and put their own picture together and kind of like squeezed me in it for whatever reason. I never knew.
You said they squeezed you into their story?
Yeah, they came and was asking me questions about her and where I been and where I came from, because I traveled on Greyhound, I guess, using one of my real names that linked back to me, and they knew that I was in Vegas. From there to there, I was bouncing around, and they kept coming back, showing me pictures of her, and then they finally came back and told me the whole little story and told me they needed me to come to Las Vegas.
they squeezed him. They put him in a room. All these other agencies came in. Let us not forget that. That they came in, they put him in a room. He didn't know me. He never seen me before. Only thing he knows is hear me on some albums. Other than that, he don't know me, never saw me before. Why do you got to believe him? Why do you have to believe Mutan? Because he was in jail from November the 28th till December the 7th. And the December the 5th date that the prosecutor said was a made-up motherfucking lie like everything else that he's doing. Listen to this bigot on the stand. Everything that he's telling you about him going there and he got the Nevada statue, long arm and all, that's a lie. The Prickett case, that's a lie. He ain't never charged nobody in a case from California and convicted them in Nevada about some shit that happened in California. The bigot is lying. So if I tell one lie, everything come out of my mouth is a lie. This bitch is steadily lying. This is the shit that I'm talking about. This is why so many black and brown folks sitting in the penitentiary on this bitch word right here. And this is what he do in the courtroom. He gets in the courtroom, he testify, he say it. And nobody check it. Nobody say, hey, Your Honor, objection. Mr. DiGiacomo is testifying. He's the one saying it's December the 5th day. And I'm glad that it did. I'm glad that we let that happen. See how our law works? See, God is so methodical. Look at what he did. He gave you clear and convincing evidence that Antoine Mutan was in jail. He didn't let him out December the 5th, and then this bigot can say, well, he got on a jet that flies within 1 hour. See? He didn't get that. He didn't get a chance to make up none of that. The man's in jail. Clearly, he's off the face of the earth. There is no way in the world that you can take this man's word for anything that comes out of his mouth on the stand. Listen to him. Go back and listen to what he say. He's a liar. He got caught. You told 12 motherfucking people, you told 12 jurors that December the 5th, Antoine Mutan saw me on the footbridge and that I told him some shit. Nigga, I ain't never seen a day in my life. And for years, let me explain something to you. I'm sitting in a motherfucking cell. I did 10 years in Ely, 23 motherfucking hours a day locked down. Can you fathom? You can't fathom or imagine the thoughts that was going through my head and how I'm sitting here going, I ain't never seen this motherfucker a day in my life. And one person said to me, a female that I was talking to, she said, you're going to have to figure out what it is. If they did all that to you, you're going to have to figure out where that came from. Who really wants you? Well, I read you all of the motherfucking agencies, all of the government officials who was involved in it. They ganged up on me from city to city, state to state. This how they did me. And then what happened? Allah got involved. And there's a scripture, let me see, 2:14, the Hayat says, did you think you would not be tested? Did you think that you would enter paradise while such a trial has not come your way as it did those before you? And even the believers in the prophet said, when is the help of Allah? That's saying all of this man is going through and he's praying. Allah, when you gonna help? When is it? Know of a surety that the help of Allah is near. And look what happened. God gonna make them just do some flagrant bigot shit. There's no way out of this. Everything that Mutan testified to, that bitch told him to say it. And he said that they put him in a room, squeezed him. But you don't believe it. You ain't gotta believe him. Believe that mugshot. Believe that jail record from Fulton County, Georgia. He was incarcerated from November the 20th to December the 7th. December the 5th couldn't, impossible. There's no way that could have happened. But we are allowing it to carry on and abuse his power. This bigot should have been fired. He should have been fired. Ain't no way in the world, man, if he was black, that nigga be locked up. Ain't no way in the world. And then you got a motherfucker in Aaron Ford who got the power to prosecute him. You not looking at this? Man, this is the biggest case since the murder of Tupac Shakur. This shit right here. These motherfuckers put me on America's Most Wanted, Gangsters Most Wanted. They did everything in their power. He did that. He took my case and told the motherfuckers on America's Most Wanted, I need assistance in tracking Andre Dow down. So, when he did that, you caused all these people to look for me. Armed and dangerous. They wanted to kill me. Murder on sight. This is what they was going to do to me. All of them agencies, Richmond, Fairfield, motherfucking Metro, Las Vegas, San Francisco, FBI, all these people was on the hunt for me. They all ganged up on me. But if Allah is with you, who can be against you? Look at you bitches now. Huh? I done humbled all you bitches. All you bitches done humbled. Yeah, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. Bitch, you caught.